The Road Home by Penstroke. Chapter 10. Different Time. All night. It had taken them all night, but they had them cornered. The Duke was going to make those ponies pay. He popped out of the diamond dog hole. Right eye sullen sweat, and just a cut above his right eyebrow. Both injuries were a result of the gem thrown by one of the two cursed brothers. Now they had them. It had taken all night. Through the use of fake trails, creeks, and levitation, the four ponies had managed to elude capture. But, with some pack coordination, they had managed to herd the ponies up against some cliffs. The same ridge that the precious train chugged across on a weekly basis. Buzzing a tree branch out of the way, Duke caught sight of the four ponies. The two unicorns had thrown up a green-colored shield, surrounding themselves on all sides with a dome half-circle and a flat floor. They were protecting themselves, but the shield was only delaying the inevitable. His dogs were pounding the magical barrier with sticks, rocks, and their bare paws. Small cracks were beginning to show. A smile pulled on Duke's lips as he got closer. The ponies didn't look much better off than him. They had small scrapes and cuts from their running through the forest underbrush, and the brothers wobbled whenever the barrier was struck with a particularly hard blow. They would not last long, and Duke's smile only grew in plain view of the ponies.
Did ponies have nice midnight run? Did you get your exercise?
A smile fell from Duke's face. He pulled back his fist and punched the exterior of the barrier firmly.
'Cause when we get in there, I'm going to break your legs and snap your horns!
Now, there's no need to be so violent, Flim said, before wincing as one dog, wielding a stone the size of a watermelon, smashed the rock against the barrier. Surely we can all sit down and discuss things like civilized creatures. How about a deal? We're talented adventure ponies after all. Why, if there's a little something you've always wanted, we can whip it up in a flash, Flam said, forcing a smile. You could have your own gem magnetizer. Or how about an automatic gem polisher? What about a... Flam's back and forth was abruptly cut off by Duke punching the barrier again, his fist managing to leave a small crack behind.
What we want is to fill you, dragon! What we want is to ransom for the ponies for their little princess. You two almost prevented that, and we diamond dogs don't take kindly to ponies stealing what's ours.
Duke reared back and punched the barrier again, the crack widening. More and more cracks were forming as the auras of magic around Flim and Flam's horns began to flicker and fade.
So, are you going to break your legs? Are you going to snap your horns? And by the time I'm done, you're going to wish you'd never been born!
The sound of shattering reached Duke's ears. A smile on his face returned. One of his dogs had breached the barrier spell, managing to smash a hole in it with a thick tree branch. The cracks from that one hole began to spread, spire across the barrier. The magic from Flim and Flam's horns all but gone. Only a few final twinkling wisps remained. Duke snapped his paw, getting the attention of the other dogs, getting them to stop. Then he reared back, twiddling his fingers once before forming a fist. He threw his punch, a fast jab that Duke put all of his weight behind. The barrier would shatter under a blow. It would pop like a glass bulb thrown against the hard floor. The others watched with smiles of their own. The grips on their sticks and stones tightened, ready to jump the ponies in an instant. A loud pang cut through the forest floor. It was followed shortly by a loud stream of cursing. Duke jumped up and down, holding his paw and snarling and glaring back at the ponies. The green barrier, which should have crumbled under the flick of a claw, had been reinforced. The cracks were filled with dark indigo magic. Immediately, Duke's eyes flickered to the filly, a deep growl in his throat.
Smash it open!
The dogs resumed their assault, battering the shield. Spike was next to Nyx, trying to keep her upright as her legs began to give out from under her. With every blow against the green shield, more of her indigo magic tried to fill in the cracks, but the signs of exhaustion were settling quickly. Her horn flickered, the whole barrier itself shifting and threatening to collapse from the loss of additional support. Once more, a loud sound cut through the forest, but this time it was not a pang. It was a chorus of shatters as the barrier fell apart, the many tiny fragments of magic disappearing into thin air. The three-horned ponies fell to their knees, panting as their horns sparked and fizzed with their attempts to reform the barrier. Duke smiled as the dogs moved in, circling around with menacing smiles. The dogs began to reach out for Spike and Nyx, even as the little dragon tried to breathe fire at it. A few of the grubby, graspy paws. Then there was a rush of air and a blur of color. Duke saw it. A He turned his head quickly to try to glimpse what it was. The boar was gone just as quickly as it appeared, but the effects of its presence remained. One of his dogs toppled over, unconscious. The others took a sudden step back, unsure of how one of their comrades had been felled.
Don't stop, you fools! Get the...
Duke tried to spit out the order, but the boar zipped past him again and another dog fell.
Pegasus!
One of the dogs shouted, pointing skyward where an orange-armed pony was banking around. He was coming in for a dive again, dropping from the sky like a falcon on the hunt. Duke growled as he shook out all his still-tingling paw.
Don't let him hit you!
The wailing yip of another dog drew Duke's attention from the sky back to the forest. There were 3 more ponies, glittering crystal ponies, each in armor, wielding large, pointy branches as weapons. He managed to catch one of his dogs in the side, drawing blood with a 6-star point. All of his pack turned quickly to face the new opponents, only for one more of them to be knocked unconscious by the Pegasus. Still another began to yip and shout, his tail burning with a green dragon's fire. The tide of battle had turned so quickly, his pack couldn't help but be overwhelmed in a panic.
Let's get out of here! No! No!
Duke shouted, trying to rally his retreating dogs. He turned to glare down at all ponies, only to be struck square as one good eye by a well-thrown rock. He toppled over, falling into the arms of the dutiful buck, who quickly picked Duke up and began to run away. All the while, Duke screamed and failed.
Yes, ponies! Turn around and fight them like dogs!
The 7 ponies and 1 dragon stopped in the shaded trees, resting weary legs and fighting off long yawns. They had been following the flow of a small creek as it spilled across stone, dirt, and sand on its way through the mountains. Flash surgery assured them the creek offered the most defined path back to the crystal locomotive. If they kept pace, they could be back at the train in a few hours. A faster alternative to waiting for Flash to rest enough safely to airlift 6 ponies and dragon up the cliffside at one time. But keeping pace was not easy for the 2 groups of ponies who had been denied a restful sleep. This looks like a good place to rest for a while, Lapis said, surveying the area for a moment. The creek water pools here are enough for us to refresh our canteens, and the wild vegetation is plentiful. We'll take a couple of hours. We'll eat, water up, rest, then get back on the trail.
Let's focus on the resting part first, right, brother of mine?
Flam removed the gem-laden bags from his back, before looking to his clean-shaven brother. Flynn was woozier. He lifted a hoof and opened his mouth to answer, but the words died in his throat and he simply collapsed onto the soft grass.
Can't argue with that, Flim,
Flam said, before flopping onto a sitting position.
Are we sure it's gonna be safe?
Nix asked. She and Spike had been allowed to ride on the backs of the guards.
Okay, that's cute.
Nix had been carried by Gem's shield, while Arden had transported Spike, and managed to get an autograph or 2 for his trouble. Last Sentry, who had been flying just above the group, landed and put a reassuring hoof on Nix's shoulder.
Don't worry, Princess Nix. You and your Spike's safety is our utmost priority. We'll get you to safety to Lumberton, then resume the search for Princess Twilight, Cadence, and Prince Armor, as well as the other pony, Maud, that you said is with them.
Last's assurances didn't seem to affect Nix much. Flam even believed he saw something of a frown on her lips. Still, she did not say anything to Flash. She just got down from Gem's shield's back and walked towards a tree. The guards had huddled to their next move. Spike sat and leaned against the base of the tree, his eyes quickly drooping as he fell into a gentle sleep.
What's eating you, kid?
Flam asked, as Nix drank from the creek, and he went from sitting to lying in the grass.
Crystal Guards saved us. They're treating you and the dragon like royalty, letting you ride on their backs. Not a lot of reasons to frown, unless you're worried about Princess Twilight.
Nix took a few gulps of water, before lifting her head from the creek. She rubbed the excess liquid from her mouth, then turned to face Flam.
I am a little worried about Twilight, but I know she, Uncle Shiny, and Aunt Cadence can take care of themselves. They also have Maud from them, and from what I've heard, she can take care of herself too.
Then why'd you frown? Flam asked. Flam and I sure wouldn't be complaining if we got to ride on somebody else's back.
I don't like being treated like a princess.
Nix sat down beside Flam, facing the creek so her back was to the guards. Flam snored and rolled his eyes.
What?
Nix still asked, as he looked at Flam, snapping out the word with a bit of exhausted and induced irritation.
You? No pony doesn't like being treated like royalty,
Flam said, with complete certainty. You get pampered. Ponies listen and do what you tell them. You must invite to every high-class event. And my favorite part, you get the financial perks. I can tell you, my brother and I sure wouldn't be trying to make a living on the road. If it's a monthly stipend, it's got to be fat. And if it's a government credit line, that's even better. That reminds me. You wouldn't happen to know how much Princess Celestia has in the bank, do you? I have a running bet with my brother. Winner gets 100 bits. They slipped away from Flam, back to the creek, before laying down in the grass as well.
All that isn't fun if every pony's treating you different.
What? Are you talking about the whole business when you were the scary queen of the country? I doubt anyone's treating you that way now.
No,
Nick said, drawing her forehead up closer to her chest.
but things changed when Twilight became a princess. It was just little things at first. Didn't think of much of it. Not until one day at school. Me and my friends had started working together to learn new skills from Twilight. We called it Twilight Time. Because if she is, maybe you can hit me up with us while we hang out with a bunch of celebrities.
It was midday recess, and everything was wonderfully going. Nix was waiting to be picked up for school by Twilight. I was passing the time taking turns on a swing with Twist. Nearby, Applebloom, Scootaloo, Squeebell, and Pipsqueak had been playing Foursquare. It was going to be another wonderful day, where her 4 Philly friends came to learn things from Twilight. It was hard to remember how it all started, what had prompted her friends to learn something from Twilight. But Nix didn't really care how it started. All she knew that she was learning new things with her mother and her friends was even more fun than just doing it with Twilight. Together, they could celebrate their triumphs, and together, they could help one another through the difficult parts. And besides, Dinky already learned an entire school from magic from Twilight, and now she's at the Celestia School for Gifted Unicorns. Ow, 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 ow! Okay, I've stopped referencing Hocus Pocus. Yes, everything had been wonderful until a familiar part of dark clouds had decided to float nearby. Diamond Tiara and Silver Spoon were in the afternoon class now, but that still meant the 2 groups of Phillies could cross paths at noon, when the morning class was waiting to leave and the afternoon class was beginning to arrive. Like so many other days, Diamond had basically brought the admiration of both classes of little ponies. She promised some acrobatic display, but reneged on her promise to thus have her butler do it. Still, almost every pony in the 2 classes fought at them like they were the world's greatest circus performers. Normally that would be it. Nix and her friends would just have to endure Diamond and Silver at a distance. Today, however, the pair decided to make a personal visit. Asking Sweetbell to be in Manhattan anytime soon. It was a oddly generous offer. Something Applebloom had already pointed out. Nix's personal choice would not have been the answer. Something didn't sound right to her, but Sweetbell chose to give an honest answer.
Actually, my sister hasn't offered to take me to Manhattan anytime soon. Yeah, we figured.
That was a low blow Diamond Tiara was infamous for. Sweetbell watched straight into it. Now she and Silver were doing their special Philly hoofshake. Nix could only shake her head at the pair, happy they didn't have to be around one another in the morning class anymore. Nix would have been happy to let things drop there. Sweetbell, however, decided to strike back.
Oh yeah? Well, I don't have to go all the way to Manhattan to hang out with the famous and super cool ponies. Me and my friends hang out with Princess Twilight all the time.
Diamond's expression soured. She snapped back to Sweetbell.
She doesn't count.
All 5 Phillies glanced at each other before looking at Diamond. Applebloom had an eyebrow arched to confuse her.
Wow, doesn't she count? Yeah, School added with a nod. Princesses are the coolest, biggest celebrities in Equestria, right next to Rainbow Dash. Every pony knows who the princesses are, and Twilight is no exception. You're just saying that because she got you grounded,
Twist said, all 5 of them having heard what happened to Diamond after her and Silver's not-so-harmless pranks against Nix.
Daya, maybe we should.
Silver put a hoof on Diamond's shoulder. It was quickly knocked away. Diamond took a step forward, stopping as he glared down at Nix and her 4 friends before pointing a hoof at Nix.
No, I'm saying that because no real princess would be willing to keep someone like her as a daughter.
Nix glared back at Diamond. That insult wasn't so entirely new. While Diamond always took the time to point out that Scootaloo, Applebloom, and Sweetbell's blank flanks, she also made an effort to make verbal stabs at Nix on a regular basis. I wonder if, after Crusaders of the Lost Mark and Diamond got reformed. So he looked at Nyx and gave her a long 1 hour apology. So he had spread rumors about Nyx eating pony meat, her stealing candy, and targeting every little thing she could to remind everyone at school Nyx was the same pony who had conquered Equestria as Nightmare Moon. Those insults Nyx had learned to put up with, but Dabs and her mother were certain she couldn't stand for. Twilight 2 is a real princess! Yeah, and so is Nyx! A dead silence fell over the Phillies as I turned to Twist. No, she's not! Diamond spat, as if the very idea left a bad taste in her mouth. For once, Nyx found herself actually sharing an opinion with Diamond Tiara. She didn't think of herself as a princess, even if she was an alicorn. Twist, I really don't think I'm... Nyx tried to correct, but was quickly cut off by Sweetie Belle, who was grinning ear to ear. You know what? I think she is. Sweetie Belle moved out to Nyx. She didn't bother going to school with a vest anymore, but she kept her glasses. The Nightmare Moon eyes still made some of her classmates uncomfortable. Her wings, however, were Sweetie Belle's focus. She pulled at the tip of one wing so they extended the view. Why don't we go down the checklist? Sweetie Belle, what are you doing? Please, stop. She has wings and a horn. Sweetie Belle, I think you've gone far enough. That makes her an alicorn, and every alicorn I know is a princess. Isn't that right, Scootaloo? Scootaloo disagree with her. Scootaloo gave a firm nod with her head, now staring at Sweetie Belle's almost triumphant grin. Yeah, and her mom's a princess. So even if she wasn't an alicorn, I'm pretty sure having a royal parent makes you royalty. At least as royal as that Prince Rarity used to have a crush on, Sweetie Belle added. Girls, really, I'd rather not. Nyx tried to interrupt, but Sweetie Belle and Scootaloo were like a steam locomotive charging down the track at full speed. There was no stopping them. So, not only do we get to learn cool things for Princess Twilight, but we're also friends with Princess Nyx, Sweetie Belle said, getting right up to Diamond's face. So go have fun in Manhattan. I'd rather stay here and hang out with two of Equestria's fine princesses right here in Ponyville. Diamond was seething, her eyes darting around frantically as if searching for something. She glanced back, and swung her forehead around so quickly to point at her butler, she almost struck Silver in the head. Yeah, well, Nyx doesn't have a butler that does tricks. She does have Spike. She doesn't need a butler to do her tricks for her. She's getting her super amazing magic back. She can do tricks 10 times better than anything your butler could do. Sweetie Belle's shout was loud enough to draw the attention of every pony else for 2 classes. Even Diamond's butler had stopped his ball balancing and juggling act to see what was going on. But unlike a moment before, Diamond Tiara was now grinning, since he was a cat caught a mouse in a corner. Alright, if Nyx knows such cool magic, why doesn't she show us a trick? I mean, she's a super cool princess, so she has to be able to do at least one trick, right? Diamond's question started to murmur around the rest of the students as they were gathering closer. Most seemed excited, a few were nervous, but one fact was a uniform amongst all of them. They were all looking to Nyx, staring expectant gazes. I don't... Nyx tried to answer only to feel a hoof on her neck. Excuse us for a moment. Sweetie Belle yanked Nyx to the side. All 5 fillies quickly collapsed into a huddle. Nyx, you've got to do this, Sweetie Belle said. This is a golden opportunity. This is our chance to be the popular ones in school. All you need to do is do one little trick. Girls, I really don't think this is a good idea. Are we just stupid to know? No! School answered without a moment's hesitation. They're always bragging about how all these famous ponies they know, but we never meet. They're always using their money and butlers to get every pony to like them. I think Diamond only has one butler, Twist pointed out. Scootaloo rolled her eyes and made a small grunt. That's not the point. The point is we can finally give them a taste of their own medicine. All we need is for Nyx to do a little levitation, just levitate some balls around us in a smashy way. Alva Bloom, who had been largely silent and calm during the whole argument, looked over to Nyx with a small smile. It would be nice to be the center of attention for once because of something good. We didn't even get to enjoy being nominated Ponyville's flag carrying time. Diamond wore that fancy new dress to school that Monday, and that was all any pony could talk about. Nyx glanced back and forth between all her friends. feeling a knot forming in her stomach. It would be nice to finally get one over Diamond, but she didn't like having every pony think about her as a princess. She sure didn't think of herself that way.
We're waiting!
Diamond's words carried every drop of her smug attitude. Nix could just picture the smile on her face. At this point, if she didn't do something, Diamond would be intolerable for at least the rest of the week, if not longer. Compared to that, doing a trick in front of the class and not disappointing her friends was easily the lesser of the two evils.
Okay, I'll do it.
Nix sat, eating lunch with her friends a few days later at school. They eat lunch, then they get to play on the playground until they were picked up or were supposed to leave to go home. She had a daisy sandwich, an apple, and some celery for lunch, with a little bag of gummy bears for dessert. She was sitting and eating with her friends at her favorite spot outside. It should have been normal and easy. Everyone else in class had a different idea. A flash of light signified another camera going off. Nix had to wince at the bright light before shooting a glare at the little cult who had taken it. With her levitation trick, she and her friends had observed Diamond Tiara and Silver Spoon as the most popular kids at school. Nix wouldn't deny. Maybe it had been a little bit fun finally putting the pair in their place. But now she wasn't Nix anymore to everyone else in class. She was now Princess Nix, a turn of face that just didn't ring well into her ears. Another flash of light. Someone else taking a photo. But this time Nix glanced over at Scootaloo.
Why do you keep doing that?
Nix snapped. Scootaloo was caught with a big white smile as he'd been striking a pose for the shot.
What?
She asked as he settled back into his seat at one of the school's few lunch tables.
If I don't pose in the picture, I look sad.
Then look sad! You're only encouraging them! Nix winced as another camera flash went off. She didn't know why it wasn't bothering her friends more. Maybe her eyes were just more sensitive to light. Some other aspect of her origins that were currently far more a curse than a blessing.
Nix, relax. This is a good thing. We are the biggest of the big shots at school right now.
So he said, triumphantly managing to levitate a little single baby carrot into her mouth before chomping onto it.
Besides, you have to run out of film sometime. I don't know about that,
Twist said. Her words garbled a little as he was speaking around having pet stick.
I think I saw some of them replace their roles.
The prospect of having to deal with the camera flashes for even longer made Nix frown. She began to pack up her lunch, having hardly nibbled at anything. The only thing she kept out was the gummy bears. She held her magic as he got up from the table.
Look, girls, I think I'm just going to take my lunch and eat back at the library. See you tomorrow, okay? Doesn't Twilight usually come to pick you up, though?
Everyone asked.
She always uses the same route. I'll just meet her halfway and say hi to say Charlie let us all go early.
And Nix answered before popping a gummy bear into her mouth and walking away.
All right, we'll see you tomorrow,
Applebloom said. The four friends watching Nix leave before glancing back at one another. None of them really had anything to say, and even if they did, weren't given the opportunity. As soon as Nix was out of sight, all the other students swarmed the table, each talking a mile a minute and asking a dozen questions.
What's it like being friends with the princess?
Do you think you could ask Princess Nix to do that levitation trick again?
Can you get me Princess Nix's autograph?
Who are you?
There was a pause amongst all the other little ponies at the mention of an autograph, so the idea of it was a bolt of lightning leaping between them. They then resumed their clamoring, pressing to the table even greater forever. Each was hoping for the autograph of some kind, either on the pictures he had been taking, or some random things such as hats, saddlebags, and foreheads.
Well. What can I get Nix to sign all that stuff for you?
Applewood tried to say.
Why not?
The new voice caused the crowd to part, allowing Diamond Tiara and Silver Spoon to move closer. They had been in their usual spot, which was all the more secluded from the rest of the playground when they didn't have some pony fawning over them.
I mean, she is your friend. Surely she would, as your friend, be willing to sign autographs. Unless, of course, you really aren't as buddy-buddy as you have us all believe.
Hey! Twist said, her peppermint stick still in her mouth. We are this friends!
Besides, Sweet Belle said, added through a forced laugh, it's not like we could just ask her to sign all this. It, has to be a special occasion. You know, like a grand opening tomorrow, or... I'm opening my new lemon steaks now tomorrow,
Pipsqueak spoke out, managing to muscle through a few ponies to get to the center of the crowd. Princess Nix can sign autographs there.
And maybe you could ask Princess Twilight to come along too. The four fillies glanced between one another. There was a moment of hesitation, a moment of uncertainty. Well, just so everyone knows, I'll be having a pool party at my mansion, and every pony's invited. Well, every pony except for you four blank flight friend fibbers, Diamond said with a triumphant smile as he directed her accusation at Twist, Scootaloo, Sweet Belle, and Apple Bloom. Diamond then began to walk away. The crowd chattered and moved to follow, their excitement switching from getting autographs to enjoy a pool party at the mansion. Wait! Sweet Belle shouted, jumping on the table to get the crowd's attention once more. Princess Nyx and her best friends, the King Crusaders, will be there at the lemonade stand tomorrow, and she'll sign all the autographs you can want. Evelyn put her forehead on the table. What are you doing? I can't promise that. Don't worry. I know exactly how to handle this. A school project? Nyx and Twilight said in unison as they walked along with Nyx's friends, heading towards another part of town. Oh yeah, it's a lesson on the basis of business, Sweet Belle answered. You know, profits, costs, figuring out what the market needs. Charlie passed out the notes on us yesterday. Charlie had totally forgotten to hang them out to us. This ain't happening, you know. Still, Pipsqueak was already opening a lemonade stand, so Charlie could let him do the project. And while he's doing that, the rest of us are doing our part of the assignment. We see what our fellow students are doing and write little reviews on things like pricing, product quality, and service. And since we come here anyway, how about we buy you some lemonade to thank you for all the lessons you've given us during Twilight time? A glass of lemonade does sound nice, and it sounds like a fun little project too, Twilight said, a smile spreading to her lips as he contemplated the assignment. A basic level introduction to the concepts of business, as well as the influence of public opinion on that business success. I imagine that the reviews from other students account for a portion of the grade. Yeah, that's right, Scootaloo said, glancing back at Twilight and Nyx a moment with a forced smile before turning her head back forward. I was thinking about doing scooter lessons, and Apple Bloom, I think, was going to sell some apples, like her sister. I have to hand it to Charlie. She thinks of some wonderful class projects, Twilight said. Though, Apple Bloom, if you are going to sell apples, be sure that Applejack doesn't give them to you. If you really want to get a good grade, you should buy the apples from your sister at wholesale cost. Also, so close to lunchtime, or go even the extra step by trying selling baked goods. Unsure the extra materials and calculate the cost per unit would really impress Charlie. Apple Bloom mimicked Scootaloo's previous maneuver. She forced a smile as she glanced back. Thanks, Twilight. I'll keep that in mind, she said before looking ahead again. Oh, look, we're here! Pipsqueak's lemonade stand was really popular, it would seem. The young pinto colt was behind the stand constructed of wooden boards, exchanging bits for glasses of lemonade. Twilight was surveying the scene, already taking little notes of her own. He's using glassware, a bit risky considering the age of his clientele, but that means he's saving bits on camphor cups. The cost of washing them up at his house is probably inestimable enough to be written off, though if he really wants to do it right, he should maybe pay his parents a rental fee. That would look nice in his books. It was only then that Twilight took notice of how silent things had become. Every eye was turned on her and Nyx, and they did just spread elephant trunks and were trumpeting the Griffin Empire anthem. Considering it had been a while since he had seen Discord, Twilight wouldn't have been entirely surprised. Still, after a few tense moments, the deluge began. The fillies and colts rushed at you, holding out their pictures as they teared about their joy. You want autographs? I've never really given an autograph before, but I guess it couldn't hurt. As soon as I'm done, though, you should get back to your class assignments. And Nyx, you should get a glass of lemonade so you can write your classmates a proper review before we start brainstorming your idea. Okay, Twilight, she said as some of her classmates were asking for her to sign the pictures from lunch the day before. Most of which were her glaring at Scootaloo for posing when said photographs were taken. Diamond Tiara looked on from the crest of a hill, glaring through a pair of binoculars as he spied on the lemonade stand. Twilight and Nyx had made their appearance, as promised, and then left. Stringy Bell School and Apple Bloom and Twist were lingering behind, soaking in the praise, adoration, and favors that came with being the most popular ponies in school. They were sipping 3 lemonade. Bedazzle was bedazzling Apple Bloom's bow, and Scootaloo was getting her hose shined to near perfection. They were all things she should have been enjoying if her pool party hadn't failed to compete with an autograph session with a pair of fake princesses. Lowering the binoculars, Diamond restored to glaring down at the ponies below with her own 2 eyes as she waited. She set Silver Spoon down there to mingle. Now her friend was coming back up the hill.
From the small frown on her lips, Diamond could already tell the mingling hadn't borne any real fruit, but didn't stop her asking,
How did it go? The lemonade was okay.
Silver answered with a shrug as he refused to make eye contact with Diamond.
Not cold enough if you ask me, and a bit too bitter.
Diamond stepped around Silver, forcing herself to her friend's field of view.
I don't care about the lemonade! How did you four get Twilight and Nyx to show up? They couldn't have just shown up because they asked. I don't know, Di. The Kingdom Crusaders weren't talking about that. They were answering questions about Twilight and Nyx while getting free stuff. Sleepy Belle was drinking lemonade like it might vanish from the face of Equestria. Scootaloo was getting her hoof polished, and Apple Bloom was getting her bow dazzled. The only two not getting anything were Nyx and Twilight, except maybe one free glass of lemonade each. The only thing I heard was that some of the other things were confused why Twilight told her to get back to their class assignments.
Silver finished as Diamond went back to glaring down at the crowd through her binoculars.
Look, Di, I know it bites, but what can we do to compete with two princesses? We're still the most popular fillies in the afternoon class. That's not enough,
She snapped back at Silver, though she did not take her eyes away from the binoculars.
Those blank flanks cannot take everything we've worked hard to build after so long. We are the most popular fillies in school, not them, and especially not Princess Nyx. I mean, we're popular because we have things they want, and sometimes we let them get a taste of the good life. I have my butler do tricks. We throw parties at my family's private pool. You come up with the most of our best plans.
Diamond lowered the binoculars and pointed a hoof at the crowd below.
But those five didn't do anything. Twilight just finished a spell and saved Equestria, so maybe she deserves to be a princess. But the rest of them haven't done anything. They're just riding Princess Twilight's tail, and she doesn't even realize it. Why, I bet they knew.
The rest of Diamond's rant died. Her voice growing silent just as she looked at the fillies and colts below, sipping their lemonade. She then turned around, walked back towards Silver with a smile on her lips.
Silver, do you remember what happened to me when my dad found out what we did to Nyx? Yeah, you got grounded, just like I did when your parents talked to mine. I think a certain princess will find out just what's been going on at school. Ooh, are you practicing your evil laugh? Yeah, from my mom. I know Twilight isn't mad that we didn't get that much practice with our new skills this week,
Belle said. She, Scootaloo, Applebloom, Twist, and Nyx were all walking from her house towards the library. It was almost twilight time, and after experiencing the hecticness of being popular, she was looking forward to getting away from the rest of her classmates.
I never knew being popular was so exhausting. Yeah, but it sure is nice. Look, my hooves are all shiny from yesterday,
Scootaloo said, pausing a moment to show off one of her front hooves before the group continued heading towards the library, starting to get to near the center of town.
Nice for you guys,
Nyx said with a sharp bite to her words.
All I got yesterday was a headache from using too much magic signing all those autographs. And now Twilight is expecting me to do some school project on economics. What am I supposed to do for that? And what am I supposed to tell her when she asks what kind of grade I got on it? I know you haven't been having as much fun as us, Nyx, Evelyn said, but we appreciate you putting up with it. We really owe you one, and I'll be looking better. I mean, Diamond and Silver weren't constantly swapped like we've been this week.
Sweetbelle gave her friend a firm nod.
Everyone's right. I'm entirely sure everything will start quieting down and settling into a nice new school after today.
Twist was the first to make that last turn they needed to get to the library. The Grand Oak came into view, but Twist stopped dead in her tracks. She tilted her head in the direction of her friends, but did not take her eyes off of what she saw down the street.
I think you may have spoken too soon.
When all five managed to get around the corner, they saw Twilight waiting outside the library for them. This itself wasn't so out of the ordinary, but Twilight's expression was, uh-oh. There was no smile or warm greeting wave. She wore a firm frown as her disapproving gaze reached down the street, carrying it with almost as much power as Fluttershy's stare.
Uh-oh. I know that look. Yeah, I'll do it too. Wow, so that's what Mother's disapproving glare's like. Uh-oh, it's the mommy flick. I think you're in trouble, Nyx. Who's in trouble? It's all your idea.
Scootaloo wanted to huff to retreat, but even began to take the first step. In a flash of magic, all 5 of them were teleported to the library, landing squarely in the center of the room. At the same time, the door to the library opened. Twilight trotted in, and with a flare of her magic, shut the door behind her as she glared disapprovingly at all 5 F's at a much shorter range. A school project, huh? Twilight said firmly, cluing the 5 fillies into exactly why they were in trouble. Sleepbell hardly looked at her. We can explain! Really? Then please, go right ahead. Sleepbell opened her mouth to say something, but she couldn't manage a single word. She looked to the others. Nyx was looking away from Twilight, incapable of meeting her mother's gaze. Scootaloo and Applebloom were trying to make themselves as small as possible, and Twist was a single step behind him, as if that might spare her in some way.
I ain't got nothing,
Sleepbell finally admitted. Twilight called her magic, lifting up an unfinished scroll. I found this in the mail today. It was very enlightening. Now, I'll admit, when I saw who it was from, I didn't want to believe it. Diamond Tiara isn't a filly I would normally put a lot of trust in, but then I went and spoke to some of your classmates. They said how happy they were to do all sorts of favors just because you know 2 princesses and get to hang out with them regularly. Well, that's going to stop for now. Twilight time is canceled until further notice, and Nyx, you're grounded.
But I was just starting to get good at potion making,
Applebloom said. She turned to look at the chemistry set up on the one side of the room.
I'm so close to levitating that broom.
Sleepbell called upon her magic, as if to prove how good she got with the spell. She managed to lift the broom a little, but it fell back to where it had been leaning against the wall. I know, but you all need to realize what you did was wrong. You're not special just because you know a princess.
But it's not like we did anything that Diamond Tiara doesn't do,
Sleepbell tried to argue.
She makes everybody think he's special just because he knows famous celebrities and has a butler that does tricks. How come she gets to be popular that way while we can't?
Twilight sighed. She turned and took a step back, and opened the door so that Twist, Scootaloo, and Applebloom and Sleepbell all had a clear path out of the library. Sometimes things aren't fair, and in time, I'm sure Diamond Tiara will learn having fans instead of friends comes with its own consequences. But for right now, I have to ask you all to leave.
Sorry, Twilight,
Applebloom said, hanging her head and starting to head for the door. Twist, Scootaloo, and Sleepbell followed soon after, each muttering their own apology as they began to head towards the door. Sweetie couldn't bring herself to really look at anything but the 4. She felt horrible and was realizing now exactly what they had been doing wrong. It had been just so good to be popular for once, but tricking Twilight and pressuring Nyx was not worth it. Now, Nyx, I think you and I need to have a discussion of what it means to be a princess. Twilight's words rang in Sleepbell's ears. She couldn't stop herself. She spun around and galloped back to the library.
Wait! Don't be mad at Nyx!
Twilight, who had been facing Nyx, glanced over her shoulder and raised an eyebrow. Oh, and why's that?
It wasn't her fault. She didn't want to do it from the start,
Scootaloo said. She, Applebloom, and Twist grouped with Sleepbell.
We asked her to do the levitation and trick at school, and she didn't know anything about the lemonade stand. So she didn't even like the pictures everybody else was taking,
Applebloom said.
She only put up with it because of us, and she still let us early because of it. We got so wrapped up in being popular and being special because we knew somebody's special. We forgot why she's special.
Twist said.
Well, you're both special.
You're special, Twilight, because you took the time to teach us wonderful new things, Applebloom said. Scootaloo took a step away from the group, moving over looking apologized to Nyx.
You're special because when we're having trouble with our homework, you help us figure it out. And you're both special because you're our friends, Sleepbell said in conclusion. We're truly deeply sorry we got our priorities mixed up, but please don't be mad at Nick's Twilight. It was all us!
Twilight looked over at the 5 fillies. The frown lingering on her lips for a few moments, before a smile spread on her lips.
I think you've both learned something really important today. I think you should put in the journal me and my friends have been working on, but we can save that for a little later. Because you want us to leave now? Twist asked.
No, Twilight answered with a shake of her head. Because we've wasted enough Twilight time on this. Now, go get your things. Smiles burst onto Twist, Sweetbell, Applebloom, and Scootaloo's faces. The 4 fillies leaping for joy and shouting, "Thank you, Twilight!" in perfect unison. They didn't rush out to get their things. Sight made Twilight smile as he looked back at Nyx.
And did you learn something too, Nyx? It's okay to do things for your friends,
she said, managing to smile a little as he thought about how all 4 of their friends jumped out to defend her.
But you shouldn't take advantage of them or make them do things they shouldn't enjoy. If your friends are making you feel pressured to do something, you should talk to them out about it so they understand how you're feeling. I'm sorry I didn't talk to them earlier, Twilight.
Twilight put a hoof on Nyx's shoulder and gave her a quick hug.
I'm just glad to hear my little princess wasn't trying to abuse her title. Am I really a princess?
Only if you want to be, Twilight assured.
I think I'd like to just be Nyx,
she said as he hugged Twilight back.
But I take too many pictures around you when you're a princess.
Those final words led a giggle in Twilight's throat. She hugged Nyx a little tighter, and released their embrace so the pair could join Nyx's friends. Already her friends were hard at work. Applebloom was taking ingredient measurements, Scootaloo was laying out all the pieces of her unicycle, Sweetbell had fetched her practice broom, and Twist had gotten a mirror to practice her pronunciations. And for Nyx, she quickly found her latest puzzle, a trinket Twilight intended for her. After all, she figured the best avenue for learning and regaining some of her previous magical prowess was being able to understand and analyze magic on a fundamental level.
Things were really never the same after that,
Nyx said as he concluded her story, her gaze lingering on the calm, pristine creek pool.
Everybody in school just started treating me differently. Some just started trying to be nice so they could say I was their friend, and others started siding with Diamond, saying I didn't deserve to be a princess. All I really wanted to be was like every pony else.
So you want to have a mustache? Nyx dabbed her head up to the right, one eyebrow arched as high as it possibly could on her face as he turned to Flam.
What?
You just said you wanted to be like everyone else. That means you want to be like me. So that means you want a macho mustache like mine. That also means you want to be a dragon like Spike over there. And a crystal pony like our valiant saviors.
Flam said as he used one hoof to gently smooth and struck his mustache. Frustrated escaped Nyx's throat.
I don't want any of that. You're missing the point.
No, I get the point. Your friends had a rough spot, but you sorted it out. Trust me, if I had a bit every time that happened to me and my brother, then we'd be one pair of rich sales ponies. Sure, the problem might have started because your mother's a princess. That does technically make you a princess. But this whole little story time does start because you don't like getting the royal treatment.
Yeah, I don't like getting treated differently.
Every pony gets treated differently, Flam said. That's because we're all different. Even my brother and I have our differences. Even those guards over there have their differences. Every pony is different. So of course every pony is going to be treated at least somewhat differently. Let's face it, kid. You're an exclusive club with currently 5 members. Some ponies are never going to be able to see past that. But, personally, I think the only reason you don't like being treated like an Alcorn princess is it because it reminds you of when you were a queen.
Nyx's voice with a few pisses of frustration.
Isn't that a good enough reason to not like something?
Not if it's just so you can forget everything that's happened.
Flam said as he got up from the grass, stretching and popping his leg. He knelt down and taking a bite for grass saying he hadn't been laying on before continuing to speak.
Do my brother and I try to forget what happened at Sweet Apple Acres with our super speedy Cider Squeeze 6000? No. We remember what happened to try to do better.
Flam gave a mouthful of grass a few more chews before swallowing, then licked his teeth, getting a few final traces of vegetation. The hand got slipped down in his stomach with all the rest.
You're no queen anymore. You're no dark, vengeful terror that sucks tonight. But you can't just sweep all that under the rug and forget about it. How else will you ever know that you've gotten better, unless you remember where you came from?
Nyx turned away from Flam, choosing to glare at the pool of disagreement, since he couldn't argue back.
You just don't understand.
Well, obviously,
Flam said before running his tongue across the interior of his mouth again.
Darn, I hate eating raw grass. It always gets stuck in my teeth.